Hi everyone, Shawn here from the Sci-Fi Model Guy, and we're here with Chapter 4 of the full-scale build of the U.S.S. Enterprise 1701-C from AMT. And I'm really excited today because as of a couple hours ago, or maybe an hour ago, the channel hit 250 subscribers, which is an incredible milestone for me anyway. And I really thank all of you who have stayed with me and have subbed to the channel. And if you are enjoying the videos and you haven't subbed yet, please consider it. I would really appreciate it and it would help the channel grow even more so we can reach out to more modelers. With that being said, so in this episode here, we're going to be talking a lot about the lighting as promised. Looking at the layout of it, talking about how we install the nav lights, etc. And I will let you know that later on in the build, not in this video, but probably in the next one, is I did discover that the layout wasn't as good as I had hoped. And so if you are following along, just keep that in mind, that the lighting selection I use and the positioning may not be 100% ideal. It did work out fine, and I'll just go ahead and show that now, kind of a spoiler for the future build. So here's the saucer section as it is right now. And again, when I record these intros, I've done a lot more work than you're going to see in this one. So I just want to I want to kind of give you a heads up there if you are building and following along. The nav lights here, the nubs where the saucer connects kind of coincides where the light's going to be. And when I planned it out and when I use the solar res to lock the lights down, which is this stuff right here, the solar res, it builds up and it's a little thick. So when I put the lights down and when you add the solar res on top, it kind of creates a bit of a chunk of stuff that makes it kind of a little bit difficult to get the saucer, locked down 100%. And you also end up having to cut off there's like a male and female part where these things kind of come together and you glue them. I had to cut those off in the end. So I just want to give that little disclaimer here. If you are following along, you may want to hold off at this point and wait for next week until the next video comes out so you can see the solution. So I'm just going to hold it up here. You can see here that the build's fine. There's a little bit of cracking here where the putty was. I'm personally okay with it. This model's just for me. I'm not building it for anyone else. If I was building it for someone else, I would be a little bit more corrective in doing that. But with that, I'm super happy with this right now. You can see somewhere where I am with the painting and the detailing. It looks really cool. So kind of a sneak peek there. But I did want to let everyone know this right now in case you are following along step by step. So just hold off maybe another week, put it on pause, put your project on pause or do some other masking or something like that until we get to the part where I explain what happened. I'm not going to go into it too much detail here. That being said, I really do appreciate your time, everyone. Sorry for the long intro on this. But again, I really thank you all for the 250 subs. It's incredible. I'm floored. I'm humbled. I'm thankful. And I'm just excited, super excited to share more with you. I've got a secret project that I'm working on right now that I can't disclose because it's a little gift for a friend, and I am recording some of that. It's going to be a 2 or 3 video series build, and I've got a lot more planned. I've got a 350 scale, which is the 3-foot Enterprise TOS version. I've got the same from the refit version, which I know there's tons of videos out there for those two models, so I may just do like a 1 or 2 video series on that. I've just tons and tons of stuff and we're gonna get out of Star Trek eventually, even though that's my love. But we've got a lot coming, folks. So tons of unopened models to build, tons of videos to make, and I'm got content for a couple years, I think. But all in all, I really appreciate it. Thank you for the journey. And before we get to the video, I do want to remind everyone, please send me an email. It's thescifimocelguy@gmail.com. if you're working on any projects, if you got pictures of models that you've done or ones that you're in progress, send them over to me and we'll do the second installment of the viewer mail series, which I had a blast doing. I've got a couple emails from some people. Can't wait to show them off to you all. And so keep them coming, folks. Send me the email. In the email, just send me your first name or the name that you would prefer to be referenced as, and I'll go ahead and do that. I won't disclose where you live. I won't disclose your last name. Even if you tell me it's okay, I'm not going to do that. I'll just put the first name and the pictures. And if you're sending pictures, please try to take them without any pictures of family in them. There was one or two that I was sent that had a family in the background, like a little photo of a family. I was able to catch it and crop it out. And I will do my best to do that. But just be cautious, when you send me the pictures, to not have anything in there that's self-identifying or of people that aren't giving their consent to have their picture posted on the internet. I know we're a small channel and everything, but privacy is important, and we should be respectful of that. So I'll work hard for you, but if you can, just a little bit reminder, try to just send pictures of the models. And if they need to be cropped, let me know and I'll take care of it. Okay, guys, that's it. A long intro today, and I do apologize. But thanks for your attention. And now on with the video. Happy modeling, everyone. All right, we've done a lot of work here in the time since I last stopped the video. And so let's talk about it. We had marked our locations of all of the lights that we were going to put down. So I've gone ahead and done that. And everything's wired. We're not connected yet. I mean, the wires are on the individual light pieces. And I have kind of connected a few of them together where I could. Again, I didn't want long wires everywhere. So I've done that. And also the other thing I did, and I'll be demonstrating this in a second because I saved two to do on camera. I've held down the wires here and glued it on here. And we talked about that in the last build series, where in order to prevent these things from touching or being pulled around anywhere, it's always a good idea to, once you put the wires down, is to secure that to the model somewhere just off of there. So that way you can still move the wire around, but it's secure there and you're not at risk of, when you're manipulating these and putting them together, as long as they're tacked down here right before the connections, you have a very low chance of pulling them off and having to resolder everything. So it's just a real good habit to get into. What else have we done? We've marked a hole here. I'm going to be drilling a little hole here, and there's a little dome light that goes underneath. It's kind of the sensor dome. We've marked the area for the nav board. It's going to go here. And I've also gone ahead and written down in this little Sharpie marker what color little tiny lights we're putting. So this is the bow of the ship at the front. We're going to put a white light there. We're going to put a red light here for the port side and a green light for the starboard side. This is the bottom of the saucer. And I'm over here grabbing the top of the saucer, and I've done pretty much the same thing. So green here, red there, and you'll notice it's flipped, but that's because it's there. So I always write these down on the kit so I will remember and not goof. I always double check because I want the right colors on the colors to be on the correct side. So we got white here, and over here I did decide to do 4 yellow lights. I do have some purple that I had ordered that I have sitting around, but I think yellow will be nicer. So I'm just doing that. There's just these 4 little random lights. I don't even know if it's on the screen, but I'm going to put them down because I've got the lights and I want this thing to be colorful and vibrant. So that's that. We've drilled, we talked about all the drilling of the holes. And over here, I've done the same thing with these lights. And if you can see here, this is the little piece of sprue that I cut off on the, from a piece of the plastic, you know, where the pieces are on. I've glued that down there, and then these lights are now angled up to shine into these windows. So this light will illuminate the other side's lights and vice versa. Okay. So I didn't want to film all of that stuff on camera, all that lighting. So I'm just going to show these two examples here, just so you can get an idea. So this is the backing of the light strip, and it is sticky, but it's only sticky enough really to kind of get it to hold into place for a little bit. After a very short amount of time, this will come off. So you always want to secure this lighting down with some glue, which we're going to do. If you notice here, I'm putting these strips down with the wires facing away from the Bussard collectors. So this is the front. I'm doing the wiring away from there because I am going to have two other lights in each of these nacelles. Well, I'm sorry, actually, three. So we've got a green or a red at the front for the navigation colors, and then in the back here on the bottom, there's a white LED here, and then on the top as well. The piece is over there. I don't want to go get it, but essentially, you know, it's going to be kind of like this, and so you'll have a bottom light and a top light, and those are going to both be white. So we have one, two, three little lights plus this light. So there's four light wires in all, and it's going to be a little bit messy in here. So I want the spaghetti mess to be more toward the back, because the front of the cells are clear, and I just don't want little wires kind of getting around and getting in the way of what we have to do. So I'm just to keep it clean. And look at that. I just went all that talking. I just realized I put it on backwards here because I am not thinking. See, that's a good thing, because this, see how easy, that's actually a good demonstration of how easy this stuff pulls off. So all that blabbering, and I wasn't paying attention. So okay, now they are both in the back. Oh boy, I'm silly. All right, so they're in, and I'm going to kind of get these wires just lined up like that, just so that they're straight and not touching. Now I've got this is some glue that came in the mail a few days ago. I have a glue that I was always using before. This is they're both CA glue, but if you see here, this thing, just over time, I wasn't keeping this clean. And over time, you know, you get buildup and stuff, so the cap won't go on, and it's kind of glued itself shut. It's still in there. I can hear it, but I'd have to like drill this thing out or do a new one. So I ordered this new medium, and it came with, let me see, it's called Saint Arbond. I've never used it before this, but I did use it in the saucer. It works fine. It's a CA glue. Nothing wrong with it. And it came with two spare applicators and a thin nozzle, so that was nice. So I'll show you that. So this is the main bottle, and then it came with an extra applicator, some thin tip nozzles here to use for fine work, which I haven't used. Let's actually do a little unboxing here. So it's a nice little bag there, and I guess this is a, oh, this is a little pin there. I guess you use to clear out this if it gets clogged. Why don't we, I don't think yeah, I do need to, because I used it the other day. So live demo. So when I'm squeezing it, I can't squeeze any air out, so that means it got clogged in there. So I'm guessing that's what this little needle's for. It's pretty neat little thing. Okay, poke that in there, and I can hear it. I'm taking it off camera and putting it to my ear, and I can hear a puff Yep. Awesome. So I got to make sure not to lose this guy, or else I'll have to get probably a clothespin or a bobby pin would work. So we'll just keep that in there. And then the other thing I did, I don't know if other people have done it before, but I have this here. It's that uncure that we use to take, we use this a little bit in the Enterprise 650 model build to take off some of the lighting that we needed to. What I'm doing is when I'm done putting the glue on there, I took this off. I put a little bit on a towel, and this is like water. It comes out real fast. I just dabbed it on there a little, and then I wiped down my applicator here just to get any glue off and prevent this from happening. As you can see, I don't want this to happen to me again. I don't have to take my drill and clear that out. So figure a little uncure, just wiping it down might help. It's a little thing I learned, and hoping it works. Okay, so let's take our CA glue, and we've got our Instaset, which is really a neat product, or it's called Kicker or something like that, and it just lets this glue cure up instantly. Now, CA glue is basically super glue. It does dry fast on its own, but if you're going to be handling these pieces, and if you don't want to wait for a length of time, then the Kicker is a real good way to ensure that everything's good. And it also helps keep your fingers from getting too sticky. So I'm just putting this little thin bead. I like this. This is a medium. And by medium, it means like how fast does it run? How viscous is it? This other one here that I had was pretty thick. Now, this one was called medium, but they're different brands, so I guess it's good reason. What am I trying to say? Like, I guess like shoes. Like shoes come in different sizes, so I guess these what one is medium and in one brand is not in another. So this is a little bit more runny than the other one, which is fine. Okay, so I've got that, and then I'll just take the Kicker. Just two little shots like that. Sometimes I'll blow on it to get it good. And this stuff actually has a pleasant smell. I don't know. It's almost like candy or something. Very pleasant. I do have this other stuff, Mitrapel. Not as nice of an aroma, but it works. That can I've had. This one is still quite a bit, maybe a quarter of it left. And this has gotten me through probably 10 models. So stuff goes a long way. All right. Well, I'm going to need that anyway. So I've got that down. Now, it still can be sticky. I wouldn't advise touching it, because you can still get it on your fingers. So now that that's down, I'm going to show you tacking down this. And all we do is a little bit in front of so here's the here are the connections, and we're going to put glue here and here just to secure those wires down and make sure that they never touch. So I'm just putting a little, I'm not squeezing very hard. I'm still getting used to the flow in this. So you can see, hopefully there's a little bit of, hopefully that's in focus. And that's that. Get our Kicker. Okay. That is that. Get our uncure again. Again, just a drop or two. And we're just going to wipe it down here. I have a feeling this is probably a good habit to get into here. Okay, where's the cap? Where's the white cap? I don't know where I put it. Interesting. It disappeared. Ah, I probably put it back in here, didn't I? I sure did. Okay. Good. All right, that's really all there is to it that I wanted to show you guys. I'm gonna reset here in a minute, and what we're going to do is start laying down the power wire, the power wire. So I have these long pieces of positive, negative, and they basically it's enough to go in a circle. So what I'm going to do is take my sorry about that, this awesome tool, and I'm going to I think what I'm going to do is just cut this into sections that might be better. I'm doing a thinking in real time in front of you here. So there's two options to do. I can wrap it around and just cut off, little bits of thing from within the wire as I need to, or I could actually use my lighter and burn, I could burn it off and pull it, but that's a little unsafe. I don't like using the lighter if I don't have to. So I think what I'm going to do here is cut these in sections, and this is going to be the power that feeds all of these. So that way, again, if one of these fails, it won't affect the rest of them. And we're going to do the same thing with the negative wire there. So that's our next step. And I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'll come back and I'll tighten it down, and then we'll come back and do the last couple or one or two on camera so you can see the process. So wrap that around. And then after that, we will start doing in these small nav lights. Then we're going to install the nav board, put that in, get all that wired together, and we'll give her a test. And that's always a fun part, testing the lights. Okay, so pause button to be pressed in a second here, and the next time you come back, we'll see this will be a lot more cleaned up, and this will be down, and we'll wrap up this little segment of wiring. How you doing, folks? Okay, the tape is all off, the masking tape is off, and we are going to talk a little bit about the lighting that we've done here. So here's what looks like a mess, but it's really not. It's actually pretty clean. One thing I do want to talk about real quick, though, is the yellow lights that we had discussed that I was going to put here for the bottom of the saucer module here toward the back end. The lights were a little too big for what space I was allowed here when I tried to test fit it on there, and I had to take them off, and it just made this part look ugly. There's nothing wrong with it, just a little bit of black paint, which I'll explain in a second. So sad part is we're not going to get those cool 4 yellow lights in the back that I wanted to do, but life goes on, right? So next time, if I want to do that, I'll just order some 0805 lights, which are the smaller ones, and there might even be a smaller version yet available. These are not. So these are not 0805s. These are 3020. These are 3020 red lights, and you can see there the light is pretty big, and I think the yellow I had was a little bit bigger than that. And I'll just to show you the size difference here. These are 0805s, which are typically what a lot of modelers use. And I think when I ordered these red ones, it might have been all that were in stock at the time, and I said, let me just get them. But I kind of prefer these 0805s. Get out of there. Come on. Get out of the package. Okay. So you can see here that these lights are extremely small, very, very much more compact and able to get. So those would have worked really well in here. Just didn't have them. Next time. Got a couple more kits of these that I can do. Okay. So these are white lights that we'll talk about soon. So I've got these 3020 reds. and green. So I did put one here, and I put one here. And let me go ahead and fire that up for you, so you can see what's going on with that. And again, these red and green lights are going to be static, so I'm going to not connect them to the navigation board. They're not going to be blinking or strobing or anything like that. So they will come on with the rest. Okay, check my voltage. If you saw the epic failure of the Enterprise 1701 where I didn't have a voltage checked and I had to crack the model open, that was fun. Not going to do that again. Okay, all right, so we've got our red and green here coming through very nicely, as I had hoped. And I had, after putting them on, I put this wonderful product here called the Solar Res. And if you can get it, these are about $20 for a bottle, and it's another $40 or so for the light. But it's a great product, and what it is just a clear kind of a resin type of a, it's a resin, solar resin that cures instantly with ultraviolet light. So you get a bottle for the stuff, and it comes in different viscosities. I've got the one that's pretty low, so it's very ketchupy, it comes out very slowly. And what you use these for is you make these great domed lights here. And I think I did that in the Enterprise video. I'm not sure if I remember recording that or not. I think I did. But anyway, we're gonna go through that again. And so what you do that on the outside to create these dome effects, but you can also do it on the inside to kind of lock down lights. And what you do is once you get it on there, it creates a nice hard shell, which you can use to paint over and do a nice light blocking. That way you don't need to use tape or anything like that. You just put the Solar Res on and then just get some tape. A lot of people use a brush. I just go ahead and just use the model color thing, and I kind of dab it down and let it come out, and it works just fine for me. I don't have to dirty or clean a brush. Okay. Oh, that was something. Oh, I ended up touching one of these connections here. I'm going to turn this off before I short something out and burn it. One moment. All right, we'll get that out of the way. Now, these, again, here's the power lights for the red and green lights. And what happened here? That's a black. That's connected here. And this black. Okay, never mind. Sorry. I was just wondering what's going on with this trapeze wire here, but it's just I was kind of moving stuff around and picked it up. It was kind of locked down. We're okay. Going to connect a white light here, and this one is going to be a blinking light. And that's the only one you have to connect to this one. So when we get the white one down, we'll tie that power into the power here. This is like the main power for the whole thing. And then the negative wire will leave loose, which is going to end up connecting to the navigation board. The negative wires from these two guys and all the other lights here are just going to connect together to this main negative hub here that will end up going out of the ship. Okay. So with that, we have our red lights out. I've got 5 of these lights here, and I think I took one off before, didn't I? I did. Sorry about this little delay here, folks. It's been a long day. Here you go. I think it's pushing 1 a.m. right now. So, okay, so I've got the red light, and I'm going to test it first. Now, these come prepackaged, and they say the color, but there has been a time where I was sent a package and it had the wrong label, so I just always test them. So this is, it's a red one, and it's going to go here where I pre-labeled red, but there's not much of the wire visible here. You can see that little tiny bit right there. So what we got to do is get more wire. Now this is so thin, it's like a hair, like a dog hair or something, or a whisker. So I don't have strippers. So what you do is you just get a lighter and you just burn it off. So I'm just going to hold it under there just a little bit, and that kind of takes care of it, and it burns off that coating. And now you can see we have about a inch, 3/4 inch or so of wire to work with. So that's my method there. I try not to use the lighter for too many things, but that's one of them. So I'm just going to connect it here. It's actually, this wire is so thin, the alligator clips actually don't really do a good job of holding on to them. So I'm going to connect that up, and we're just going to turn it on real quick and test it. And we have red. Glad it was, but I always wanted to make sure. Okay, now the solar res, I have it on its side like this because, like I said, it's very, very thick. And if I had had it standing up the whole time, I would have just had to sit here and talk to you for a couple minutes to let it kind of go down. So laying it on its side when I'm ready to use it, or preparing to use it rather, aids in the speed. So we're just going to demonstrate this on this red guy here. I'm going to do the red light on this one, and I'm also going to put the red light on the starboard nacelle. No, I'm sorry, port nacelle. Port is left. It's right here. And I did mark, see, that's why I marked these. I wrote red, and that's L for left side. Because I've got all the reds out, so I'm just going to put them down while in one shot instead of taking out all these things. So how do we do this? Okay. We've got the light. So this here, there's two sides, obviously. The side here where I'm showing on the camera is the light. The back, you can see the wires connected. So when you lay this down, these things like to turn and flip around. So sometimes it's kind of a pain to get it to lay exactly where you want. Now here's the hole that we drilled earlier. And I want this to go right over there just like that. So it's in position. This thing is cooperating with me. Now, before I go any further and do this, what I want to call out is I have noticed now that this window group is extremely close to this light here. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to be very careful. And the reason is because I don't want the red light to shine through this window, and I don't want to have to worry about masking it with a lot of black paint on the other side. So I'm going to be very careful with my application of the solar res here and make sure I don't cover here, because if I put the solar res on here, when I black it out, it's going to kind of bleed this light into the window, and I want to avoid that. Probably would have been better if I would have masked it before doing this, but I'm committed, kind of. So the solar res is out. I gave it a little squeeze. Okay. So there it is. I've given it a good coating, and it's very gooey and sticky. But now the cool part. This is a ultraviolet light, and when I shine it over my hand, I can feel the heat. It's giving me a sunburn, or it would. So all you do is you just hold it over here for really about 5 or 6 seconds, and it cures it almost instantly. It's the name solar, I guess it's from UV, from solar radiation. And this UV light just cures this stuff instantly. And I think this is the similar material that like they use to fix windshields. It's a UV, it cures with UV light. So now I'm touching it, and there's no stick. It's hard and it's great, and I can mask over it. So what I'm gonna do is get the black paint out. And I'm going to give, and this is what I should have done before. I should have just done this with this black here. previously and let it dry. But I started recording and I go, okay, let's wing it. Okay. So now I'm just covering, kind of letting it come out. I'm not squeezing this. It's just dripping out on its own accord. And there we go. So if I were to test this now, hopefully we will see no red light coming through, or minimal red light. Normally I would wait for the paint to dry to test this, but we're here, so let's do it. Connection there. Okay, it's on. And the black came out. I had a feeling it was, see, this stuff is so thin. Okay, it's on, and I don't see it. Did I fry it? Turn it up a little bit. Interesting. I'm not showing any amps. I'm showing voltage, but I'm not showing amps. Okay, okay, now it's on. Is it? Maybe the light came off. Okay. It looks like some of the black paint actually got in there. Yeah, it sure did. So that means I did not mask it properly. Okay, so what do we do here? What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to flush this out with a little bit of paint thinner. So got a little bit of airbrush thinner. And since I don't have any paint on here, this is okay for right now. So there we go. All right, I got that airbrush thinner, and you saw that black coming out of there. So that means I did not fully cover the light with the solar res. And when I dabbed the paint down there, it covered the light, so it masked it fully. Sure, there's a lot in there. I may just have to take this off. I think that's what I'll do here. All right. So this is going in the intro to explain, to watch this part. So I know this might be boring to some of you, but this is a good thing to happen. Okay, so I just wiped off some of the paint there, as much paint as I could get off. Okay, now I'm going to pick this thing off and try not to damage the light. If it breaks off the light, then that's a shame, but thankfully I do have more. I'm gonna give this a flush with a little paint thinner. And this is okay. The paint thinner is not going to take the primer off. The primer, I think it's an enamel paint, and I'm using an acrylic thinner. The airbrush thinner is for acrylic paint. Okay, let's see if we've unclogged the light. the hole. Yeah, we have. Let's try the other side there too. Oh, there it is. It's kind of coming through. And we'll get off. I was rubbing the wrong spot there. There it is. It sure does look ugly, doesn't it, in this stage? A lot of folks are able to keep their models so clean and perfect when they're doing it. Every now and then I get one and I just make it look like a train wreck while I'm building it. And they end up nice, though. Like I said, there's nothing you can't fix. So, again, I know this is kind of a boring part of the video, you guys, but I want you to see this. So, again, I'm kind of glad this happened. I'm just going in here and getting out any last bits of paint that were stuck in there. That's good. One little, I put a little bit of thinner on this guy here. Take a little swab. Good enough. So what happened, I think, was I was really too concerned with this bit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint over this now. And let's unplug this guy. I'm going to mask these windows and let it dry. And then I'm going to come back and do this the quote-unquote right way. So I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to do the same thing to this window group over here. See, aren't you glad I messed up? I mean, if I would have done that and explained it, it wouldn't have shown you the trouble that you should avoid. Ah, here's a big one right there, too. Look at that. That white one is right on that window group. I remember when I was masking this, I was wondering why did they put some windows near these lights, knowing that it's a clear model and they're going to be lighting it, that the people out there were going to be lighting the window. But okay, so I've gone ahead and just masked these groups there. We're going to let this dry. I might take the hair dryer to it, and then we'll come back and then we'll be able to properly put these windows on. And hopefully I haven't ruined this here light. Yeah, maybe I have. Yeah, it's covered in solar res with black paint. I'll try to clip this off here with my nippers. I've got plenty of these red lights, but yeah, you know, it's gone. I mean, it's there, but the thing is I'd have to take it all off, and I would never get all the solar res off, and it wouldn't have a nice flush connection there. So we have a casualty of one light so far on this mission. Well, sorry, 5 lights. 5 lights have given their all in the pursuit of the model building. Okay, so, well, let's move on, shall we? We'll put that to the side and we'll go to the nacelle. Always move on. I've got the nacelles and then plenty of white lights that we can put on. So definitely want to get this demonstrated for you. This is always the fun part. Which one did I take off? And I've done it before where I've just taken all of them out of there and had a big spider nest. But we're going to try to do it correctly. I think this is it. I think, yep, this is it right here, I believe. got stuck. Ah, there we are. So again, this is why I try to do all the reds together, because imagine having 3 handfuls of this laying around. You got a white and a red and a green. You don't know which is which. So do one color at a time. Okay. Now, obviously, we're not going to film all of these lights going. I just want to get one or two of these down. That's sort of glowing red. I want to get 1 or 2 of these down here nicely for you so you can see it in action. Okay, so again, here's the back side. I'm going to locate that. Move these wires here out of the way. And that says white, so I don't want to put a white one. This says red. And I did check the other one, so it's probably fine, but why not? Let's make sure that the light even functions. It's most likely the right color, but every now and then you might get one that just is broken. Red. Okay. Okay, where's that back? Solar red is ready. Where's our ultraviolet light is ready. Time to lay it down. Okay. Nice and flush. Here it comes. I'm going to get a nice, good covering like I should have done on the saucer section. There we go. That's what I want. Put the cap back on and then hit it for a few seconds. Once you have it on for a couple seconds, you can let go. Look at that. That's kind of cool with the what the light does to the coloring there. Feels like I'm cosmic bowling or something. Okay, it's cured. Neat thing also about these, this is from SolarRes. If you go to their website and buy it, if you get the package, it comes with a rechargeable batteries for this. I think it's like 2 AA long, weird looking batteries. Here I have it right here. I'll show you. This is the charger, so it's a nice USB charger, and they're rechargeable batteries for this. So they're hunky batteries. They're pretty cool. I don't even know what they are. 3.7 volts rechargeable, and haven't had to recharge it yet. But it's nice that they give you this. I think it comes with 2. This one I got came with 2 batteries, and I have yet to have to recharge it. Cool. All right, so that's there. Let's hit it with. I just want to take a quick look. Now I'm looking here. Right there on the side that's closest to me, it looks like maybe I didn't quite put enough on. And I think the reason I'm a little hesitant to use a lot of this, because this stuff's pretty expensive. Like I said, it's like $20. So I think I was somewhere subconsciously, I'm being a little cautious with it, and trying to preserve, which is a fine thing to do. But as we saw, I ended up, in my quest to preserve, I ended up wasting it and wasting a light. So put the correct amount. All right, that should be good. Secure that up. Hopefully you can see this. I'm holding it up for the camera for you. Holding it up to the camera for you, sorry. All right. Let's give it a little touch. It's good to go. We'll move that out of the way. We'll move that out of the way. And now we have our paint. Now, hopefully this won't bleed under like the last one. And I actually don't really need to mask this one now that I think of it, because the nacelles are red and this light's red. So I don't need to really worry about it, but let's just do it for consistency so it's not more red than the other one. All right, let's give her a test. Ah, good. Okay. It is on. We can see it there. Maybe if I turn the light away a little bit, you can see it. There. Hopefully that's better for you. So there's still a little bit of light coming through. Now this, I think, is just this light red that you're seeing is light that's bouncing back through the clear plastic. It's kind of like bleeding. It's blinking. Stop blinking. It's just kind of diffusing through the plastic. That should be taken care of with the mask. So it's fine if it's bleeding through on this side a little bit. But we're going to, obviously we're going to be painting the other side black and giving that a masking coat as well. So we're going to see a little bit of this light blend. This thing keeps coming off over here. It's running away. Sorry about that. We're going to be seeing a little bit of light bleeding when we only have one side of the model light blocked. So that's to be expected, but it's really coming through really nice over there. Turn that off. All right, guys. So that's about that's it on this segment. I think you've hopefully seen enough. If not, just go ahead and rewind it and watch my screw up, and then watch hear how we did it properly. And I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry probably overnight, and come back in the morning and hit it there. Let me see. We've got some white to do, so I can put the white here. I'll put a white here and white there. Well, no, not yet. And then I did drill 2 holes. I think, if I'm remembering right, forgive me again, like it's been a long day. Shrink tube, go away. I did drill some holes for some other white lights toward the aft of the ship. And I think I recorded this. If it'll go together. Oh, brother, come on. Come on, girl. There you go. Yay. Okay, she's together. Sorry about that, folks. I did drill a hole here. There's a hole for a white light there, and I also drilled one back here. And again, it's right halfway in between where these come together. So I'm going to put a white strobe light there, the fast blinky one, and then under here is going to be a regular blink, a steady blink navigation light, just to add some more things going on. And then the white lights on the back of the nacelles too are also going to be a steady state regular blinking light, and then the red and green will be static. So basically what I'm saying is we're going to have the white, there's going to be sets of white lights, some of which will have a double blink and some of which will have a single blink, and that will kind of add some animation. The red and green navigation lights, which distinguish which direction the ship is heading, will be just always on. And so we'll have red and green top and bottom on the saucer, and then red and green on the front of the nacelle. So in total, 3 red lights, 3 green lights, 2 white lights on the nacelle, 2 white lights here, plus 2 on there. So 6 white lights on the ship, and then 6 red and or green. There. Quick maths. All right, got it. Okay. That'll all come together pretty soon. This is all lit, and the next steps are just going to be putting after the lights are on and everything, those little navigation lights, we install a navigation board, get everything that humming and testing, and then do some painting, and that's it. So we're coming along here, folks. Big mess in front of me, but we're coming along. Okay. All right. That's going to wrap it up for now. And we will either be back on another video or we'll be back in the next segment. Stick around or see you later.